I think that it's winter morning and maybe you guys are a bit sleepy, right? So I can start with a question in that case, so that you can feel a bit. I mean, I cannot obviously do energizer here because it's a TED talk and I'm supposed to be very formal. So what are the environmental challenges that you are facing your day-to-day life? You can name like randomly. Okay. What are the challenges you are facing the most? Deforestation. So any other problems, environmental problems that you are also facing, or you can name? Air pollution. And then?
Excessive use of plastic.
Plastic pollution. Anything you want to say? So, I mean, we have a lot of other problems, right? Environmental problems. We have biodiversity loss. We have climate change. So, I think, I know that this TEDxBAU event is focused on climate crisis. And yeah, I appreciate that. At the same time, we are no more in the era of climate crisis. We are actually in the era of triple planetary crisis. We are beyond, we are now facing beyond climate change, a lot of other issues like biodiversity loss, all kind of pollution. And that's why United Nations are saying that we are not just facing climate crisis, we are facing triple planetary crisis of climate change, nature and biodiversity loss, as well as pollution. So when I actually got the invitation by the organizers, they told me that they are very much interested to learn about my environmental leadership journey. And I was like thinking what to say, because I never literally recalled all the childhood memories and all I have done so far. So I was like trying to recall last night, and I was like laughing at me because at once I wanted to be a money maker during my childhood by doing engineering, you know. Because my family members, they told me that you have only two options to choose. One, either you can be an engineer or a doctor. Because I think when I was in childhood, I think the people and the society, they used to think that these are the only two jobs which are dignified and can make a lot of money. So I asked, no, I want to be a teacher. Then they said, no, teachers cannot make money. And you won't be able to, get the best women to marry. So no, what can I do? Then yeah, I can make money by doing business. And they said, no, this is not dignified. So you have two options. Either you have to be an engineer or a doctor. Most of the time, we young people, we actually don't live our life. We live our lives for older generations because they actually shape our dreams. We actually don't give the opportunity to dream what we actually want to be or what we want to do, what we like to do. So yeah, I dreamed to be an engineer. But at the same time, I have no regret that my mom used to do housekeeping because my father abandoned us. So she had no other options but doing housekeeping. So my mom, in simple Asian language, was a maid, and I have no regret to say that here because my mom was it's a job, right? It's a work, and every work is equal, dignified. There's no such problem. But being from such a background, we always feel that we need power, we need money, because society didn't count us as human being, right? I was abused by my friends, by my teachers even, in sometimes, and it felt like I don't have any right to study, I don't have any right to see dreams, but I could make it. So yeah, then, but always I was very, close to nature because my mom used to grow a lot of veggies. She used to do a lot of organic farming, and she has chickens and ducks. She used to sell eggs and vegetables to make sure that I can continue my study. So I also learned a lot of things from my mom, like how to grow veggies, how to, do all the farming. So that that's the first thing that actually, made me very close to the nature or Mother Earth. Then, as I said that I didn't actually want to be an engineer, but it's society who actually made me to think that I need to be an engineer. So, yeah, I was always like, yeah, I have to study in WIT or any prestigious university to pursue my engineering degree. So then, when I actually got the opportunity to study in Dhaka University, I actually chose to study disaster management, living in engineering. You know, knowing the fact that I don't know what kind of job I'm going to pursue after 4 or 5 years. But engineering, that shows me something like I can be an engineer, but studying disaster management, what I can be? Disaster management manager? Is that a position in anywhere? No. So I studied, and when I was studying, I felt that I really need to learn about environment, because what we learn from our textbooks, yeah, it's maybe enough for the exams, but for developing interpersonal skills, for taking better actions, you really need to go beyond that. Like you really need to learn by doing, and there the co-curriculum activities come, right? So I tried to engage myself with different spaces, platforms, and networks, but I never found one back in 2014, because at that time, what we have experienced that climate change was something like expert's job, not business. So then I have co-founded an organization with my friends and seniors, and then we started learning, because I believe that the first step to create a big change is learning. You have to educate yourself to bring more changes and to change the society. So I started learning by doing, getting exposure, attending events and seminars, and being a volunteer in many, many activities. So then, after completing my graduation, there's another pressure, like you have to pursue a government job, like you have to go for BCS, right? I think a lot of you are facing that, going through that period, right? So I was like, I was not in a position to, fight with my family, because they obviously have right to, express their expectations from me. So, but I was waiting for the right time. I was actually waiting for the right time to flourish. And then I got connected with earthday.org, which is actually an international environmental organization based in USA, and they are going to celebrate their 53 years next year on 22nd April. I got connected with them. I started my professional career with them as a consultant. And during the pandemic, I was very upset. Like, I really don't have a lot of things to do. I mean, sitting on a chair and staying in home. So I then started learning about environmental policies, laws, and like more about environmental governance, how things evolve in international spaces. And that actually connected me with Children and Youth Major Group of United Nations Environment Program. That's the official youth constituency to United Nations Environment Program. That's kind of a body which comprises around like more than 3,000 or 4,000 individuals and 600 organizations from around the world. So I got the opportunity. I applied for a role there, and I have become I became the Asia Pacific Regional Facilitator there. Then I started a new journey, learning, providing substantive inputs to international governance. And later, earlier this year in November, I was elected as the global coordinator of these official youth constituencies of United Nations program. That means for the next 2 years, I will be working with UN bodies, I will be working with different entities to make sure that young people's voices are heard in international policy making on environment and sustainability. Okay, so that's a bit about my leadership journey. I'm not sure whether it actually excited, I mean, it was exciting or not, but these are the things that I have gone through. And when we talk about environmental governance or climate action, what we think that, sometimes we think that it's maybe government's job or maybe experts' jobs to take actions and ensure an environment, sustainable environment for all, but it's not like that. Because to make sure that we are equipped enough to fight all these problems, we need to make sure, we need to bring all the actors from the society, and young people, being the majority of the population, of current world population, are the right holder to make decisions of their life. Because today what is being negotiated at international level is going to affect our future. So we have that right to engage in policy making. But but there's obviously a question, like, why do we need young people to be engaging in environmental governance and climate action? As I say, that young people are the majority of the population. If we divide the population as per the age groups, then you'll see that young people are the, the most populous one. So obviously you cannot make policies or you cannot make decisions for the entire population with keeping one large group behind or not represented in decision making. Secondly, young people are more aware of this triple planetary crisis, and they respond better to this crisis than any other generations. They feel it because when they actually took birth and started their life journey, they are already facing these issues and they are grappled with a lot of crises. So they can be the best ones to fight with this. Third, young people are the most innovative one, and they have enormous creativity. With their creativity and innovation, they can bring a lot of change, believe me. And you already have that examples. Young people are leading by examples. Because the app you are using, a lot of apps, those are developed by young people. A lot of services which we are getting today are provided by young people. Even this event is being organized by a youth group, right? So it's a huge success for all of you. Like, can we have another round of applause? Then what are the barriers that we face, right? We need meaningful youth engagement everywhere, from policy making to actions, from decision making to, implementation of plans and projects. We need young people's meaningful participation. And there's a conflict of interest, obviously, because some of the people believe, but they are empowered. They believe that young people, they don't have adequate capacity and knowledge to be engaged in policy making or negotiations or decision making, any kind of decision making. Okay. So, but I believe that young people have that capacity, and they have already shown the world that they can change the world. Like, we have the example of Greta Thunberg, who was just a minor, who was just a teenager, but she created an endless ripple around the world, and that has created a momentum, for youth engagement worldwide. Another problem that we face, we don't just want youth engagement, we want meaningful youth engagement. So here comes the tokenism. Like, in many spaces we have seen that young people are handpicked, like maybe one or two are burdened with the responsibility to represent the entire youth community. But we forget that this youth community is not a homogeneous group. It's actually a most diverse one. Like, young people are entrepreneurs, students, young professionals, they are educators, they are scientists, early career researchers. So they play a lot of role in the society. So a very few youth obviously cannot represent the entire community. At the same time, when it comes to ensure meaningful youth engagement, we cannot handpick like few of them to represent the entire community. And obviously, education plays a very important role because currently worldwide the education system we have, not just in Bangladesh, in different countries, we lecture our students a lot, but they can learn a very few things from there. Education system is not efficient enough to make sure that our youths are equipped with all the 21st century skills they need to fight all these crises, triple planetary crisis, biodiversity loss, climate change and pollution. So we really need to change the education system, and we need to rethink like what our future education should look like, the system should look like, and how can we make sure that young people are not just burden, they are the resource. Okay, so and again, most of the time when I actually go out to train or organize workshops or do some capacity building sessions, most often I find that young people, they ask me like, I don't know, I'm not connected with policymaker, I'm not connected with a lot of people who are maybe high in position, who make decisions. Because obviously they are not counting us in, they are not giving us the opportunity to, to express our feelings and our expectations and demands. What can we do? One suggestion that I always provide is like, obviously, a single person cannot bring a lot of changes or drastic change overnight, but they can bring change, like individuals can bring change. But it's not possible, obviously, to bring change overnight for a single person. But at the same time, individual level actions actually makes us feel the importance of environmental environmental sustainability to policymakers, to businesses, to the society. Our ultimate goal is to change the system, but let's not discount the value of individual action, because young people can change the world. We already have the examples. And at the last, I want to say that always believe in yourself, do whatever you want, invest in yourself, and act boldly, innovate broadly, as well as, believe in the power of you and youth. Thank you.